Success isn't for the faint of heart. It's not a path that is paved with soft, comforting steps, nor one that is always shared with others. In fact, the road to success can be incredibly lonely, tough, and at times seemingly impossible. But here's a truth that most don't realize. Success can only be achieved alone. If you've ever felt isolated in your journey, like the world is moving on while you struggle to even take a step forward, this message is for you. You might be surrounded by people, but still feel like you're walking alone. And that feeling of loneliness, of being misunderstood, is something that many great achievers know too well. Why? Because true growth often requires isolation. It requires a battle that only you can fight. The real question is, can you handle it? Have you ever found yourself questioning whether you truly belong? Whether you're just one of the many trying to fit into a world that doesn't quite seem to understand you? This is where the journey begins, right at the point where you stop following the crowd. You realize that simply following others is never going to lead to your true potential. You see, those who follow like sheep will never truly know who they are. They'll always be a reflection of what others want them to be, never tapping into their own unique potential. But those who choose to walk alone, they're the ones who discover their true strength. Think about it. Those who fly alone have the strongest wings. They have learned to depend on themselves. They've built their own strength from the ground up. They've faced the darkest moments, and yet, they're the ones who emerge from the battle with a strength that is unshakable. If you've been on this journey alone, you understand. The battles you've fought, the nights you've spent wondering if you're on the right track, all of it has forged something inside of you, a strength that cannot be broken. It's not about physical strength or external recognition, but about inner strength. There's a certain peace that comes with walking this road alone. It's not the loneliness you might think it is. It's a form of self-sufficiency. It's the strength that says, I don't need external validation. I don't need the world to tell me I'm on the right track. I know my worth. That's a power. Few understand, but when you feel it, you'll never look back. Here's the thing. It's not about rejecting help or turning away from others who care about you. It's about understanding that your true strength comes when you embrace who you are, when you stand by your decisions, even when the world doubts you. Many people wish they could live like that, fearless, unapologetic, living their truth, regardless of external opinions. And that's the power of those who walk alone. They inspire the world not by conforming, but by following their own path. When you stop trying to please everyone, you unlock a version of yourself that is unstoppable. You will face challenges head-on, knowing that the strength you've developed is more than enough to overcome anything. You might think that fighting alone means weakness, that you need support to be strong. But I am here to tell you that the opposite is true. The real strength comes from facing your battles with no one else around. You are not weak because you're alone. In fact, you are the strongest when you are standing tall in your own presence, fighting with nothing but your own belief in yourself. You might wonder, what if I'm not strong enough? The truth is, you are stronger than you think. Every challenge, every setback has already prepared you. You may not have recognized it yet, but you are stronger because of what you've overcome. Those who have never had support in their battles, those who've had to fight alone, are the ones who build character. They don't just survive, they thrive. They develop a depth and a resilience that can't be found in comfort zones. You don't need anyone's approval to succeed. You don't need them to believe in you. If you believe in yourself, this is the most powerful lesson you will ever learn. When you have your own back, when you are your biggest supporter, the world has no choice but to respect that. And while you may feel unseen, unrecognized, and unheard, that peace within you will carry you through the hardest times. Because when you live your truth, when you embrace who you really are, something magical happens. the right people will begin to notice. They'll see the courage, the strength, and the authenticity you radiate. And that will earn you a type of respect and love that can't be faked. I know the road can feel long. I know that it may seem like there's no end in sight. But here's the thing. The most successful people are the ones who kept going when everything seemed stacked against them. The ones who stayed true to themselves, even when the world told them to give up. So keep going. Keep walking your path, even if no one else is walking beside you. Believe in yourself, even when no one else does. Keep going, because you will reach a place where your strength will shine brighter than any external recognition. And when you do, you won't just have succeeded for yourself. You will have inspired countless others who felt just as lost as you once did. Your journey will give them hope because you've shown them the way. One of the hardest, yet most valuable truths I've come to understand is that the greatest growth often happens in the darkest moments. It's easy to overlook this when you're in the midst of struggle, but looking back, I can see it clearly. In solitude, you learn to confront not only external challenges, but also the deepest parts of yourself. The moments when no one else is watching, when the noise of the world fades away, and all you have is you. This is when you meet your greatest fears, your darkest thoughts, and the parts of you that you've been running from. But here's the secret. Those dark moments are where your inner strength is forged. It's only in darkness that we can truly see the light. Without facing the internal battles, without pushing through the discomfort of isolation, we cannot become the people we were always meant to be. Walking alone builds a strength that cannot be shaken. When you have no one else to rely on but yourself, you start to see just how capable you are. You realize that every obstacle you've overcome, every challenge you've faced, has prepared you for the next. The journey may have been painful, but every step taken alone made you stronger. It's not the strength that comes from external praise or recognition, but a quiet, unshakable belief in yourself. A belief that says, no matter what happens, I've got my own back. And once you realize that you don't need anyone else to validate your existence, that's when the world begins to see you differently. People start to recognize your strength, not because you're trying to prove anything to them, but because you've already proven it to yourself. Being true to yourself is the ultimate power. It's not about trying to fit into a mold or pleasing everyone around you. The true magic happens when you stop pretending to be someone you're not, when you stop worrying about what others think, and simply start living your truth. It's a rare thing in this world, the courage to be yourself. Most people are stuck in a cycle of pretending, trying to fit into roles or lifestyles that aren't truly theirs. But those who walk alone, those who embrace their authenticity, are the ones who truly shine. They may not have the loudest voices or the biggest followings, but their presence is felt deeply. Their confidence isn't based on the approval of others, but on the quiet strength of knowing who they are and what they stand for. And that's the kind of strength that draws people to you. There's a peace that comes with being self-reliant. You stop searching for validation. Stop needing others to tell you that you're doing the right thing. You learn that your peace, your worth, and your happiness are within you. This peace is not about being isolated or disconnected from the world. It's about having a deep understanding that you are enough, just as you are. You don't need anyone to complete you. You are whole, and you can move through the world with this sense of calm confidence. It's not arrogance. It's acceptance of who you are, flaws, imperfections, strengths, and weaknesses all wrapped together. And when you accept yourself fully, when you realize that you don't need anyone else's approval to be happy, the world will respect you for it. They'll see your confidence, your peace, and they'll be drawn to it. Every person who walks alone has faced pain. It's inevitable, but it's how you handle that pain that determines who you become. Some allow pain to break them. Others allow it to shape them into something unbreakable. I chose to take my pain and turn it into purpose. Every hardship, every moment of doubt became a stepping stone towards something greater. And that's the power of choosing to walk alone. When you're forced to face your deepest fears and toughest challenges without help, you learn how to transform pain into power. You realize that every setback was not a defeat, but a lesson. You begin to understand that failure isn't a permanent state. It's just a part of the process. The key is to keep going, even when you feel like giving up. You have to keep pushing through, because success is not just about what you achieve, it's about who you become along the way. As you walk this path, as you embrace your true self, you'll begin to inspire others, whether you realize it or not. People are always watching, especially those who feel like they're walking alone too. They see you and think, if they can do it, maybe I can too. Your journey becomes a beacon of hope for those who are struggling to find their own way. You may not have a large platform or a massive audience, but the people you touch along the way are the ones who will carry your message forward. Your authenticity, your courage, your refusal to back down will inspire countless others to step into their own strength. And that, my friend, is the most profound kind of success. Not only do you achieve greatness for yourself, but you also show others how to achieve it for themselves too. There's a point in the journey when you realize you are unbreakable. Not because life hasn't thrown challenges your way, but because you have faced them all and come out stronger. You've faced the darkness, the doubts, the fears, and you've emerged victorious. You've become someone who no longer needs to seek validation, because your self-worth is built on a solid foundation of strength, resilience, and authenticity. You are proud of who you've become. You are proud of the person who didn't give up, who kept going when the world seemed against you. You are proud of the person who chose to walk alone. Not because they had to, but because they knew it was the only way to become the best version of themselves. Now, with that strength and inner peace, you can live the life you've always dreamed of. You can speak your truth, walk your path, and inspire others to do the same. And when you do, you'll find that you are not alone. Not because you need others to validate you, but because others will be drawn to you. They'll be inspired by your strength, your journey, and your ability to stay true to yourself. Walking alone is not a sign of weakness. It's a path of strength, self-discovery, and empowerment. When you embrace your solitude, you unlock a version of yourself that is unshakable, unstoppable, and unbreakable. So keep going, keep walking your path. And remember, the world needs more people like you. People who have the courage to be themselves, to face their fears, and to keep pushing forward, no matter how lonely the road may seem. Thank you for joining me today. If you found this message inspiring, make sure to subscribe and join me in the next video. Together, we'll continue this journey of growth and empowerment. I'll see you in the next one, where we'll dive even deeper into unlocking your true potential